So like realistically, am I putting this on the green with a 3-wood? Probably not. I'm probably topping it into that bunker. So.
Jesus.
Something like that.
We were talking before a little bit about mentors. I'm just curious, like, is that an important thing in the wagering game, to have someone that you can lean on and ask that's experienced?
100%, especially with the wagering sort of a wagering bit, because you're going to make mistakes, like everybody does, mentor or not, and to have somebody help you and guide you. I was very lucky with everybody at the mailbag. So when I came onto the scene, I got a lot of help from there. So I think it's not necessary, but it is very helpful.
Are you a slicer?
Yeah, when I miss, it's usually right.
So how do you want to do this? This is how I reckon we should do it.
Yeah,
we should hit a ball each naturally, and then we play the best ball.
Sure.
And let's see who out of both of us gets the most best ball.
Sounds good.
But I'd love to know what you think your odds would be on the Betfair exchange for beating.
Well,
given the fact that you were a pro golfer when you were younger.
I've never seen you swing, so currently I'm $1.07, and then I'll reframe the market after I watch you swing.
All right. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Take it slow.
This isn't a slicer's hole, is it?
No.
All right.
Straight down the middle, mate. You take mine. That almost hit Harry.
So we're starting on the 10th, so it's just the one that's just to your right.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God, that's a result.
We also had a chat about like the difference between tipping, Betfair Hub versus actually punting.
Yes.
They're pretty different, right?
Well, yeah, 100%.
Like, how do you approach giving tips? So if you're doing a Saturday meeting for Betfair, how do you sort of approach that?
Yeah, so obviously tipping versus actually punting and wagering is a lot different. On the day, track pattern, track bias, I'm always, and even a scratching is coming out the morning of, you've got to sort of reassess your speed maps, and then you're adjusting on the day, whether that's track pattern, mounting yard, or all those kind of things play into the punting strategy. But from an overall sort of form factors, sort of the way I would approach a meeting, I will look at obviously the track and the rail position. I will look at the last couple of meetings on that track, and then if that rail position wasn't used in the last couple, I'll go back and find the latest meeting at that track position. Have a look at any patterns, the wind on the day, that kind of thing, and then from there I'll sort of gauge what I expect the track to play like on race day. And if it's a fair track, I won't. Like the speed maps are still important, but if it's a Moonee Valley or a Mornington or something like that where I think speed maps are crucial, I'll spend a lot more time on that and sort of only bet the horses I like off that speed map, and then I'll go through my form processes. So yeah, just sort of figuring out what profiles I like, any trials, jump outs, and go from there, and then price up a race from there. There's the first bad one of the day.
It's so interesting because you're looking for those consistencies, you know, when you have the same track pattern or rail information meeting to meeting. But do you find like the consistencies hold up? Like, is that a bit of the edge?
It can be. There's a lot of external. Obviously, it's an outside game, outside sport. So irrigation can play a factor. The wind on the day can play a big factor as well. So that's all kind of things you can be mindful of. Sometimes it's a lot of guesswork, like the recent the Caulfield meeting or Stakes Day. The meeting the week prior played you had to be on speed, and then this meeting, although the rail position had changed back to the true, the inside was a bit off. And then so I kind of, in the Betfair Hub, I kind of predicted that with a little bit of over irrigation. So those are things to look for, but that's why it's so important to be able to adjust on the day as well.
Come around. That's going to come around nice.
Yeah, lovely. Carry. Keep going. There's so many different opportunities if you do in-play and if you do sort of pre-race stuff or pre-race form.
There must be interesting variables too, because track bias comes into it as well,
Very
and
much
you've got to
so,
look at that.
Very much so. If you're on a...
You like track bias though, don't you?
Yeah, but if there's a Friday night at Moonee Valley, let's say, and 4 of the 5 leaders are won, and you've got race 6 into the sprint race, and a horse that starts $18 lead, people are taking $283. And it will get to a point with track bias, you go, okay, well, everybody's going to be on this leader. At what point is it too short?
Yeah.
But like, are you going to lay...
So are you laying that if it gets too short?
Yeah, if off a $20 SP, people wanting to take $3, like, yes, you've got pattern in favour, but there's so... And that's why I love it, because there's so many opportunities and so many different ways you can play it.
Do you know what I love about you? Like, obviously, we spoke about it before, like your personality in the hub content and stuff like that. And I reckon, you know, a lot of that banter is very entertaining, but it's also so insightful. And something that you said earlier off camera, I really hung on to is the fact that, like, a lot of young punters are asking you questions. Like, I find that really cool. They obviously respect what you're doing, what you've done. You know, for the ones that haven't asked you a question, like, what sort of advice, you know, you usually giving to people?
As we spoke about earlier, my persona is to not like people. But if anybody has any questions, like Twitter, DMs are always open. I'm always happy to help people where I can. Advice would be just to try, just to test, like watch markets, watch races, like get some sort of database. Whether that's, you know, there's 2 I use as Form King and Punting Form. Like, I think it's very important to have one, whether it's one of, there's, you know, countless out there now, but get some data, and then it's watching the Betfair markets late, I think, is one of the most underrated tools. Like, what are they backing? And then when you're going and you're reviewing a meeting, you're reviewing the races, but you also want to review the markets. Okay, this thing was $3 into 220 in the last 10 minutes. What kind of profile did it have? You know, was it, did it have a good map? Did it have a good rating? Was it a mix of the two? You know, a horse might have been $4 out to $8, you know, or was it first up? Did it come through a poor race? Like, and you pick up those patterns. Okay, what does the market like? Because yes, there's inefficiencies late, but the Betfair SP is as efficient a guide that you'll have. So if you can kind of work out where the late money was going and why, that's a really, really good tool to help you going forward. I can see this chip shot, which is the first of the day.
Carl is going to putt from here,
and I'm just hoping I don't put it 2 feet in front of me.
This could be my edge on you here.
Yeah, it probably will be.
Surely can't stuff up.
So punting, I think I'm very strong-willed and, like, mentally strong. This could go anywhere.
Oh, I like that.
Up that ridge. It's okay.
Yeah, that'll do.
It's not amazing, but it's all right.
I'm going to...
Much like myself.
To the right of this. Smart, I would too. I'm just worried about how hard to hit it. Alright, let's have a crack here. Too far right. Actually, I think... yeah, that's pretty bad. That shouldn't happen if you're putting, like... Look at that!
Yeah, you've missed that by...
That's pretty bad. And I think there's, like, a bit of a thing where, you know, if you're not a non-experienced punter, you shouldn't have Betfair. But that's not true, right?
No.
That's actually silly.
Yeah, and even if you're not using it at the start, and just watching that late market, watching the weight of money, that is as important a tool as any, I think, for somebody starting out. And then obviously, you know, if you're looking to, you can, you know, trade positions, all that kind of thing as well.
This is straight out of pot.
Are you able to get your big frame out of the way for 1 second? Yeah, it'll move a fraction left to right, but not anything to worry about.
I want glory here.
Put it in.
How's it looking? Nah. Oh, it's rolled on a little bit too.
No, it's all right though.
Just quickly on that, do you trust corporate firms?
Corporate firms?
Yeah.
It very much depends. So some stables, I will pay a lot more attention to early firms than others. Sometimes on a big race day, there's been one corporate in particular been opening some favourites $2, and then that early market always firms and crashes, and that's a very sort of inefficient. That'll always got to come back out because one corporate is just putting up a lower price and everybody just follow the leader type thing. So it's all case by case basis. Trainers are the most important. If there's early money for some certain trainers, then that's probably a good indication that they're to run well. Others, it can just be one person's opinion that can be $23 into 12. It'll just be one person having a few hundred on, and that'll probably start 20s or longer late. So it's and watching that market flow again is sort of a really helpful guide in identifying those patterns as well. There's a lot of it is just pattern recognition. Oh, I've seen this sort of thing before. I like this kind of thing. It is a lot of what I use.
For me, straight at it. Get down.
I'll take 100 at like 3 to 1.
You would have noticed recently, it's probably about 6 months old now, but Betfair's got a new marketing slogan, and while it's a marketing slogan, it's also something that the company sort of lives and breathes, and it's Betfair on your side. You know, without being too corny, why do you think Betfair's on the side of punters?
You've got great people on the hub. You've got a ratings model as well. There's a lot more information out there on the hub than most other places, that's for sure.
Well, we're still kicking, and hopefully we can continue to improve, and you're a big part of that. So appreciate all the work that you've done, and mate, thanks for teaching me a few things on the course and
thanks,
a few
it was
things
a lot
about
of fun.
you. Wish you all the best. Good luck for the rest of the year. We're still early in there, but hopefully we have a big autumn.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Left to right.
Every one of these putts has been left to right. So
Where's the water?
well, that way somewhere.
You read that perfectly. See, like I didn't even.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.